Have you heard about the truth hidden in plain sight in the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie?
What?
Okay, so this is a spoiler alert, but the premise is that the whole movie is based upon the ancient story of how the Anunnaki supposedly created humans.
Yeah, in a Marvel movie, yeah. Okay, you know what? Recently, you've been so full of...
Yeah, that's what I thought too, until I saw just how much evidence there is. So let's talk about the Anunnaki's creation story and compare it to the movie's storyline.
Yeah, I'm not taking you serious at all, but I'll listen.
According to one of the men who originally translated the Sumerian tablets, which had the Anunnaki creation story on it, his name was Zachariah Sitchin, the tablets tell of a race of extraterrestrials that came to Earth from another planet. And in the movie, the main villain, his name is the High Evolutionary, said that he visited Earth. And think about the entire plot of the movie. It was about Rocket being genetically experimented on by this guy, which turned him from a primitive raccoon into a humanoid version. And they also say about the High Evolutionary in the movie that he's considered a god by some in the universe, which is exactly how the Sumerian saw these Anunnaki. And remember what they do later on in the movie, they take actual primates and turn them into humans. And according to Sitchin's work, this is exactly what the Anunnaki did. They came to Earth and genetically engineered humans from primates. So a movie about genetically engineering humanoids, and the Anunnaki creation story is genetically engineering humans.
Okay, cool. A couple coincidences. That's a cute story, but...
But wait, there's more. So in the movie, he creates these humanoids to live in a utopian society, which to me is a direct reference to the Garden of Eden in the Bible. So according to Sitchin, the whole Garden of Eden Bible story is actually from the Sumerian tablets, but they just changed a lot of the story. Hold on, I think someone's here. And then in the movie, he realizes he doesn't like them anymore, he doesn't like what they're doing, so he wants to destroy them, and the whole planet. And this is where the Bible and the Sumerian tablets say the same thing, that there was a flood to try to destroy all humans, because they didn't like what they were doing and what they turned into. And in the Bible, this was told as Noah with Noah's Ark, and in the Sumerian texts, this was the story of Utnapishtim. And in that story, there was Enlil and Enki, who were both sons of Anu. And Enlil had a problem with humans and wanted to destroy them, and he tried in many ways, through pestilence, through starvation, but it didn't work, and then that's when he proposed this idea of a flood. So then again, back to the movie, this is exactly what happens. The High Evolutionary decides he doesn't like his own creation and wants to destroy them. But there's actually still another version of humans on that ship that he engineered afterward that are called Star Children, but that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
Well, now that you mention it, I need to know.
So real quick, there's cultures around the world that talk about these children that come in with advanced knowledge. And many think that these children come from the stars to help humanity evolve. You might have heard of them referred to as indigo children, and this has been a thing since the 90s. But the Star Children story is ridiculously similar in the movie as it is to the so-called Star Children that's been around for a while. And these Star Children in the movie are seen as the next step of evolutionary consciousness, and also in the Star Children legend that we have here on Earth.
Okay, so let me get this straight, because this is actually super interesting. What you're saying is that the High Evolutionary wanted to destroy the humanoids he made because he didn't like what they were doing, just like in the Anunnaki story from the Sumerian tablets and Noah's Ark. The same thing?
Yeah, but of course you're not going to give the Guardians of the Galaxy a boat in a movie with spaceships, right? So instead of making the Noah's Ark type scene when the planet was blowing up, they actually waited a little bit later in the movie. You can see how they rescue all the different species of animals. That scene looks just like what Noah's Ark is supposed to be. And in the Anunnaki story, that's, remember, Utnapishtim's story.
Bro, I gotta be honest with you, this is kind of stupid. Like, they don't put symbolism that deep in movies.
Okay, well, if you don't think that that's true, I at least want to show you this. Look at this picture from a screenshot of the movie. So when you're looking at that, there's no way that there's no symbolism in this movie. They had God on their mind in some sense, because they have the archetypical Adam and God, you know, reached out like this, which is symbolizing the paintings of antiquity of Adam and God. And Adam Warlock's name is literally Adam.
Okay, you got me there, but what do you think of the rest of it? Is the Anunnaki creation story true? I heard Sitchin's work was BS.
I have no idea if it's true. I can't read cuneiform tablets and translate it myself, so I can never say for sure. Some people think it's BS, and it definitely could be, but I just think it's really interesting how a lot of Sitchin's translations about what happened with the Anunnaki was pretty close to exactly what happened in the movie. Of course, this isn't exact, but I think it was enough to be worth talking about. But I do think it was really fascinating how they were also talking about about the higher order to things. And what I'm talking about is when Rocket has an NDE, or near-death experience, he talks to Lila and she says, "Not yet," implying that it wasn't his time to go because he has a purpose still. And also the quote, "There are the hands that made us, and then there are the hands that guide the hands," implying that there's a greater intelligence guiding the divine order of the universe that spiritual traditions have been talking about for thousands of years. Some call it the higher self, some call it Jesus, some call it God, some call it Krishna, Buddha, Allah. To me, the name doesn't matter. They're all trying to describe the same thing, but with their own cultural distortions. The more important part is that we recognize that there's a spiritual order and design to life. And everything that happens to us in our life is there in order to give us a chance to evolve if we choose it. Because we don't have to choose it, but that greater intelligence is always guiding us, but yet giving us the free will to choose. We just have to be able to see the guidance. And because of the design of Earth right now, a lot of the times that happens through adversity and struggle, and so many people try to run away from that, but that is the design of the game, to persevere through that, to become the greatest version of yourself in spite of the adversity and struggle. So that's not gonna go away, but so many people try to hide from it. But you see right here, he embraces it and keeps moving forward. And I think that that scene is so beautiful because it shows us that you can have terrible, terrible things happen to you and still overcome it. You know, I think that's why Earth is here. Earth is here for us to experience adversity. The universe is here to experience contrast, to experience the good guy and the bad guy, because at the end of the day, it all is one consciousness. It's one field of energy. It's one intelligent creator experiencing itself. It's a video game for the creator that is only one thing, it's non-dual, to experience what it could be. So instead of trying to say, the world shouldn't be like this, my life shouldn't be like this, you understand that it's designed to be this way so that you can overcome it, instead of playing the victim. And then you become the hero, just like Rocket did in the movie. Imagine if all of us lived our lives like we were guardians of the galaxy, in the sense that we perceived our lives to be that important, because so many people think that their lives aren't important, that we were guardians of truth, and we stopped distracting ourselves, and we really started to try to understand the true nature of reality. What would our society become like? You are the hero of your own story. You are the main character. You've just got to realize it. And you know, when we started talking, I said there was truth hidden in plain sight in this movie. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, that's really it. All right, that's the story. That's the skit. I hope you enjoyed it today. And I just want to say I'm a big fan of all of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And Doctor Strange, both of those are my favorite Marvel movies. And I really love the soundtracks that they choose. And it's just overall a great movie. So thank you to those that gave me the content by making the movie. And that way I can make something about it. And special shout out to Yamani Mason, Gold Porter, and Rebecca for being legendary producers on the Patreon, which really helped us support this experience. So if you enjoyed this and you want to see more skits, more stories quicker, I highly suggest you check out the Patreon, because that's how you can directly support me, and it really keeps this thing going, and without it, we wouldn't be here. So thank you to everyone else on the Patreon as well. Also, if you like this type of story with the truth hidden in plain sight, let me know down below. Let me know what your thoughts were on it, because I've done this for a while in short form, and I'm bringing it to long form, and I hope it translates well, because I find it really intriguing. And if you enjoyed this story, consider subscribing, consider sticking around, because we have a lot of content coming, and very consistently. So I will see you in the next one, and until then, peace.